Hello and welcome friends. Up till now we have completed the substitution method of solving the linear equations into variables. Now let us move to the elimination method, which is the other method which we can use to solve a linear equation. Let us say these are the two equations that we have: 9x minus 4y is equal to 2000, 7x minus 3y is equal to 2000, right? Now please remember, now since we have got two equations and there are two unknowns, we can find out the value of these two unknowns. Now the first thing that you will be doing while using this particular method is basically you will have to eliminate either of the variables. You have got two variables, one is x and the other one is y, and you've got two equations also. So what you have to do is basically you have to eliminate a particular variable. You can eliminate x and you can eliminate y also. Here however we are planning to eliminate y because that is a little easier and it would not make the calculations complicated also. However, you can use any method you want. The solutions would always be the same. The end result would always be the same. So what we have done is, here we have multiplied equation 1, this particular equation, by 3, right? Now first thing, if I multiply the whole equation by a particular number, or if I divide the whole equation by a particular number, that is not going to make any difference to these kind of equations. If I am performing the equations, if I am performing the same operation on both the sides of the equal sign, the left hand side as well as the right hand side, if I am performing the same function, be it addition, multiplication, division, anything, if the operation is same on both the sides, there would be no change in the value in the equation as such. The equation would remain like that only. The numbers might change, but the overall equation would not be modified. So what I am doing now is, in the first step, I am basically multiplying the first equation by 3 and I am doing the same operation on both the sides of the equal sign. So, and that is why this particular bracket. So when I multiplied this particular equation on both the sides, yes, please remember this fact, with the same number with 3, then what I'll get is equation 3. Equation 3, you can have a look here, is 27x minus 12y is equal to 6000. Now in the next step what I do is I multiply equation 2 with 4, right, again on both the sides. So this is the solution that I'll get: 28x minus 12y is equal to 8000. Is this fine? Now the question is, why did we multiply equation by 3 and equation 2 by 4? Because basically we had to eliminate one of the terms and we had decided that we will try and eliminate y. And to eliminate a particular term, you have to make the coefficients equal, right? Now here the coefficient is 4 and you are trying to eliminate y, so you have to look at the coefficients of y only. Here the coefficient is 3. So how can they be equal? 4 into 3 is equal to 12 and 3 into 4 is equal to 12. So if I multiply the first equation by 3, minus 4y would become minus 12y. Multiplied by the second equation by 4, minus 3y would become minus 12y. So this way the coefficients would become same. I will be getting the same coefficients for the y term in both the equations. So that is what has happened here. I have to basically make the coefficients of y equal if I have to eliminate y. Right now this is one thing that you have to keep in your mind. So now I have got the same coefficients in both the places. Have a look, minus 12, minus 12. Now if I want to eliminate the y term, I need to perform an operation through which minus 12y and minus 12y may result into a 0, right? How can I do that? If I add up minus 12y and minus 12y, this would be minus 24y. However, if I subtract minus 12y from minus 12y, it will result into 0. Is this fine? So whenever, let me give you a general rule. You have, let's assume that you have completed till here, you have done the question till here, and now you have got the same coefficients. You look at the sign now. If the signs are different, then add them up. So if the sign is different, one of the equation, the sign is plus, and I am talking about the sign of the term that you want to eliminate. Here in this case, the y term. So if the sign in one of the equation is plus and in the other equation is minus, you simply add them up and the total value would be 0. On the other hand, if the signs are same, both are either positive, both are either negative, in that case subtract one equation from the other and this will result into a 0. It is like saying when you have got plus 3 and plus 3, you subtract one from the other, you will get a 0. On the other hand, if you have a plus 3 and let's say minus 3, you will have to add them up to get a 0. This is fine. So remember the general rule. If there is same sign of the term which you want to eliminate, same sign in the two equations, then what do? You subtract. In case the sign is positive in one and negative in the other, which means different sign in the two equations, then you simply add them up. So now what you have done is, you have basically, since the sign is same, you would be subtracting equation 3 from equation 4. We can go the other way around also. We can subtract equation 4 from equation 3. That is not going to make any difference to our method or to the answer. So now we are subtracting equation 3 from equation 4, and what do we get? Have a look. The terms with the same variable would get subtracted. So 28x minus 27x minus 12y minus 12y, this gets eliminated. This is basically now 0, and this is why this method is called the method of elimination. And here also on the right hand side also we are doing the same. We are performing the same function, performing the same operation. So 8000 minus 6000. So basically what I get is x is equal to 2000. And if I put this value in any of the equations 1, 2 or even 3 or 4, I can find out the value of y. So I'm basically done what? We have put the value of x in equation 1. So 9x would become 9 into 2000. This equation 9 into 2000, and minus 4y, I do not know the value of y. It has to be found out. The right hand side remains like that, 2000. And what do I do now? Side change. So minus 4y goes to the right side, becomes 4y, while this 2000 goes to the left and becomes minus 2000. So 9 into 2 is 18,000, minus 2000 becomes 16,000. So y would be equal to 4000. Actually there is a particular step which has been skipped here, so you need to do it on your own. So please keep doing these things on your own. Keep doing your own rough work. Keep doing your own calculations, right? So this is what you will get. So y is equal to 4000 and x equal to 2000. And now what is left? It may or may not be stated, but you will always have to check your answer. So do verify whether your answers are correct or not. Put these values x and y, 2000, 4000 respectively, in the two equations above. You should get as a result whatever is the value on the right hand side. So you put the value on the left hand side, your result should match the value on the right hand side. So this is how you check your questions. Now elimination method, I am using a slight variant again so that you get a good practice on how to go about solving such equations. 9x plus 2y is equal to 100. Now this time we have a minus sign. 7x minus 4y is equal to 50. So given this is the first equation, and then we have the second equation. So now this time, last time we tried to eliminate, we actually eliminated y, but we need to understand what is easier for us. You can eliminate x also, you can eliminate y also. Depending on whatever is easier, you go for that particular option, right? Now here, have a look. How can I eliminate 9x and 7x are there? So one option is I multiply this equation by 7. So this will become 63x, and I multiply this whole equation by 9, 63x, and then I subtract. So the x term would be eliminated. But then it is going to be a little time consuming because you are multiplying, well, this equation with 7 and this equation with 9. 7 into 9, 63. 9 into 7, 63. This is the reason. So can we think of an easier method? Yes, there is an easier method. There is a 2y here and there is a 4y here. What you need to do is you simply need to multiply this equation with 2. Once you do that, 2 into 2y would be 4y, and then the coefficients of y would be the same, and now you can proceed ahead, right? So one option for me was to multiply equation 1 with 7 and then equation 2 with 9, but then I did not go for that option because that would have required me to multiply twice. But now what I'm doing is I'm simply doing what? I'm simply multiplying equation 1 with 2. So I've done that, multiplying equation 1 by 2 to make the coefficients again. The reason is that we have to make the coefficients of y equal and then adding it to equation 2, right? So basically I've made the coefficients of y now equal. So the first equation basically becomes now third equation because now it has been multiplied by 2 throughout, which means on the left as well as the right hand side. So now we've got 18x plus 4y is equal to 200. And now what do? We add it to the second equation. So now this becomes 7x minus 4y is equal to 50. Now since you know already that the signs are different in the two equations, one is positive, the other one is negative, what would you do? You would go for adding up the two equations, and that is why it has been mentioned here, and then adding it to equation 2. So I'm basically adding up the two equations, and what happens when I add them up? 18x plus 7x becomes 25x, while these two terms get eliminated. 4y minus 4y becomes 0, and this would be 250, and from here I can find out the value of x is equal to 10. Now what you do next is you put this value of x in a particular equation. It could be 1 or 2. So I have put it in the first equation, x equal to 10 here. So when you put x equal to 10, 9x plus 2y is equal to 100 is the equation. 9x x is basically 10, so you put it here like this. So 9 into 10, 90 plus 2y is equal to 100. From here what you'll do, you'll take this term to the right hand side, so, and that is why the sign would be changed to minus 90 would plus 90 would become minus 90, and 2y will be 10, so y is 5. So this way we have solved for x and y both, and now we have to check also verification how it is to be done, that you know already. So this is something that you'll have to do on your own, so do check as well. One last question should we try, so that you get a good idea about solving these questions, and this time this question would be a little more complicated also. Now 7x plus 2y is equal to 47 and 3x plus 3y is equal to 33. Now if I want to eliminate y, what do I do? If I want to eliminate y, what will I have to do? I will have to multiply this equation with 3 and multiply this equation with 2 throughout the equation, which means both on the left and the right side, and then I'll get 3 into 2y is 6y, 2 into 3y again is 6y, so I can then eliminate the y term. Other option for me is to multiply this equation, the whole equation, with 3 and multiply this one with 7. So what will happen? 3 into 7 is 21x, 7 into 3x equal to 21x. So again you will get the same coefficient for x and you can eliminate x. So this is how you go about deciding what to do, but then you have to go for eliminating that option which makes the question easier for you to complete. So the first equation has been given, the second equation has already been given. So what we've done is we have basically adopted this second option that we were talking about, multiplying equation 1 by 3 and equation 2 by 2. In fact, we have gone in for the first option. So multiplying equation 1 by 3, basically we are trying to eliminate y. So basically what you are doing is multiplying this equation by 3 and multiplying this equation by 2 basically means that you are planning to eliminate y. So you are doing this to make the coefficients of y equal. So you do this, this equation becomes this once multiplied by 3, and this equation becomes this once multiplied by 2. So you see here that the coefficients of 6y are the same, and when you have the same sign of the y term in both the equations, to eliminate y term, then you will have to subtract one term from the other. So what we will be doing is we will be subtracting equation 4 from equation 3, and this will lead to 6y and 6y getting cancelled. How? See, have a look here, 21x minus 6x plus 6y minus 6y, so it becomes 0, and that is why we are saying that y has now been eliminated. is equal to same operation on the right hand side also, 141 minus 66, and then you can easily find out the value of x equal to 5. So do keep doing the calculation on your own. Once you have got x equal to 75, x equal to 75 by 15 is equal to 5, you have to put in this value on one of the equations. It could be any equation from equation 1 to 4. So we have done it here, and we have put the value of x in equation 1. And what have we got when we put this value in equation 1? 7x plus 2y is equal to 47 becomes 7 into 5, x equal to 5, since we have got this value a little while ago. So 7 into 5, 35, plus 2y is equal to 47. So 2y will be 47 minus 35 is equal to 12. And this would mean that y is equal to 6. Now again, what you are now left with is to cross-check your answer, to verify your answer, right? So do check also, right? So now we have had a good discussion on the elimination method also, and I hope you have understood the method. Now it is the time for you to practice these questions. I'll find out who has to circulate these questions. Most likely some of the student from your class would have been assigned to the task to circulate these questions, so the questions would be circulated. Please practice as much as you can, and very soon we'll be having a test on this particular topic.